Well, Mr. President, thank you very much for the time.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
Great to see you.
I wanted to start by jumping right in about the discussion about the debt.
Right.
Are you willing to have the United States take a more active military role, perhaps a lead role again?
Well, keep in mind what I originally said and what I expected. I didn't expect that in 3 weeks, suddenly, as a consequence of an air campaign, that Gadhafi would necessarily be gone. What I said was that under the UN mandate, we had an obligation to protect civilians from potential atrocities, and we have succeeded in that. It's true that some civilians may be still getting killed, but we don't have wholesale slaughter in places like Benghazi, a city of 700,000 that Gadhafi said he would show no mercy on because that's a site of a lot of opposition. So what we've been able to do is to set up a no-fly zone, set up an arms embargo. You now have a stalemate on the ground militarily, but Gadhafi's still getting squeezed in all kinds of other ways. You know, he's running out of money. He is running out of supplies. The noose is tightening, and he is becoming more and more isolated. And my expectation is that if we continue to apply that pressure and continue to protect civilians, which NATO is doing very capably, then I think over the long term, Gadhafi will go, and we will be successful. But again, it's only been 3 weeks, and I'm actually very impressed with the performance of NATO so far.
So do you see the U.S. military role changing anytime soon?
I don't think it's necessary at this point. At this point, we've gotten good participation from our coalition partners. They are doing exactly what they promised they would do. They are still striking at targets, Gadhafi targets, particularly those that start moving on the offensive against opposition areas. And what we're doing is we're still providing jamming capacity, intelligence, refueling. So we've still got a lot of planes in the air up there. We're just not the ones who are involved in the direct strikes on the ground for the most part.
Guantanamo Bay prison, will it be closed while you're President of the United States?
I still believe it should be closed. I still believe that it is a symbol of our past efforts that, sincere as they were, ended up cutting some corners in terms of our commitment to due process and our commitment to rule of law. I know that it is a very emotional issue for folks, and they said, we're glad you're not doing it in New York. And I said, you know, I remain convinced we could have handled this in New York. We could have handled it in a normal court. I think it's very important for us not to elevate folks who are murderers and thugs into something special. You know, our criminal justice system and our trial system is capable of prosecuting terrorists. We've done it before. We can do it again. And I think that we do a disservice to the cause of America's security when we elevate these guys into some special category. They're just a bunch of people who had no regard for human life and are willing to kill people. And we've got to go after them with everything we can, and we have.
You've got a decision coming up on Afghanistan. You've promised to start bringing troops home in July. Can you give the American people a sense of, will that troop withdrawal be modest? How many are we talking about?
I'm confident that the withdrawal will be significant. People will say this is that they will say this is a real process of transition. This is not just a token gesture. But exactly what those numbers are, you know, how it gets spread out over the course of several months, that's something that I want General Petraeus to give me a clear recommendation on.
Well, Mr. President, thank you for the time, the conversation. Welcome home.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.